How sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy, pal, HeyArcher, and apparently the crab head of the wine bottle, which I'll move to the side. Welcome to another thrilling, exciting episode of HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. Thank you so much for being here. I am happy to be here. A little bit later of a show. I probably shouldn't yell because of my neighbors, but whatever. They should be watching the show. I don't know why they're not watching the show. We have a super special guest in the house. All of you are special to me, but there's that extra level of special when it's your first time on the show. We have the man, the myth, the legend, the reason your wallets are in pain, the reason your wallets are empty, the legend himself, Can't Kill Chewie, aka Toy Collector Star Wars, aka Matt in the house. We're talking all of it. We're talking action figures, we're talking toys, collectibles, TV shows, movies, but also there's this little thing happening on the West Coast. I'm forgetting the name of it, like something con, San Diego Comic-Con, that's what it was. I don't even know how I could forget that. It's not like my wallet's already crying from that thing. So we're definitely going to talk about that and see if there's anything that's excited him from there. As per usual, for those of you regulars, the nerd-affiliated archers in the house, if you have a YouTube channel, you got a podcast, you got a website, a blog, an OnlyFans, a newsletter, put it in the chat, support one another, plug yo shit. I see Hobbies with Jose in the house, the legend himself. I see a lot of you coming into the chat, so I cannot wait to talk to all of you. If there's something that you guys want to talk about, of course, throw it in the comments. If you're excited for something from Comic-Con, make sure to throw it in the comments. But as I say every week, without further ado, we're going to bring him in right now. Senor Matt, how are you doing today?
What's up, man? How are you?
Dude, I am so stoked to have you in the house. You know what? For all of you, in celebration, of course, make sure, if for nothing else, you pour yourself just a little bit of...
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila.
Oh, in your honor, sir.
More vodka, more whiskey.
And more beer. Because you have been a pain in my wallet's butt for a long time.
Yeah, man.
And I got to get the whole story.
Yeah, it's a constant fight, battle. Bank account, my Instagram, always.
Yeah. So before we even dive into all of that, how you even started this collector, well, you have multiple channels. You have two different Instagrams where you talk about collecting, and then you have your YouTube channel as well. But before we go into all that stuff, I always like to just ask, like, what was that first thing that brought you into the nerd world? Was it like a comic book or a TV show or a movie? Like, what was it that grabbed you and ruined the rest of your life?
Well, for sure, it was the original trilogy. As a kid, I was a kid in the 80s. I was a very young kid in the 80s.
Yeah.
I wasn't born when the movies came out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the last one. But
last one's 81, I want to say.
No, I think it's 83.
83?
Yeah, because 80 was the Empire, right? And 77 was the first one. It was 3 years in between.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, I caught the tail end. I was very young, but I caught the tail end of the Power of the Force cards. Or the ones that had, like, the coin.
Yep.
So, I was the kid on the block that had, like, all the Star Wars stuff. They were like,
yep.
Matt has the most Star Wars stuff because my dad was a fan. And that was the first thing that got me into the fandom.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I mean, right after that, there was all the Saturday cartoons and everything like that. Right. But I also, at the same time, I like entered into like the horror world because we had this VHS my dad did it had all the original like Universal monster movies back to back. There was like 5 of them. and I would watch it as a kid.
Was it a custom that like he made like for
yeah,
you
back
guys?
when when VCRs first came out, and
man.
like that they were wicked cool. He recorded a bunch of movies off of like free weekends.
Yep.
Like there's like promos, free HBO weekend. Like in the tape. So like it was like Frankenstein, Dracula, Invisible Man, Wolfman. Was there one more? Anyway, I'd watch the whole thing. And one of the only other movies that we had was Aliens, and I would watch that all the time. Like I had like a really heavy rotation at like 5. Like it was like that, Aliens, where I would fast forward to the part when they enter the nest and watch it from there. And then I had RoboCop and Rocky 1 and Rocky 3. And Top Gun. Those are the movies I would watch on succession, so probably like every 2 weeks I would go through them all. So that's what made me who I am today, is watching those movies repeatedly as like a 3 to like 8-year-old.
I'm gonna venture to say that those movies may not have been age appropriate, but goddamn, are those some good movies?
Well, it was the 80s, so, we weren't well supervised.
It's true.
We kind of took care of ourselves.
And that was the if I remember, Aliens was an issue, Batman was an issue, and RoboCop, because those were franchises that they pushed the toys heavy. Yes. And then parents took their kids to see those respective movies and were like, holy shit, what are we in right now?
Yeah, and Rambo.
And he had a cartoon. Yeah. And he had a cartoon, which was crazy. Yes.
That was it. They made toys for very violent movies back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have much. I guess I had one RoboCop, and I had but I know I had friends who had that stuff. But yeah, that was like, they would make action figures out of anything back then. But that was back when kids wanted, you wanted to see the movies that were rated R were R for like violence only.
Right.
There really wasn't any sex in them. There's no sex in RoboCop or Rambo. Rambo might have kissed that girl in the second one, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
You bring me to America. And that girl, what was her name? It was like the agent. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
because she's the one that she wears her necklace.
Yeah,
right?
he does.
Yeah. So yeah, there wasn't much sex in them, so it was all violence. So I think that parents were more okay with having their kids watch more violence than sex.
Yeah.
Although none of us are gonna kill anybody, but we're all gonna bang at some point,
That's true. That is pretty funny.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of backwards, but that was that was my movie rotation.
I mean, that's a solid freaking rotation, and
it is.
And the other one I just thought about because he mentioned it, Ninja Turtles. They got in big trouble after that first one because they were like, "What are you doing?"
Right, and you know what? Looking back, it really wasn't that bad, but they toned it down for the second one for real. I mean, do you remember watching the first one and hearing Raph swear?
Yeah.
And you're like, "Wah!"
Yeah. Yeah. I remember being a kid and I started saying it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem.
Got in trouble.
Yeah, that's it. So the second one, was a little less hardcore.
We have a little debate that's been going on this channel as to which of the two is the better movie, and
that's hard.
I think it's similar to Star Wars, where it's like, what was your first point of entry? That's usually what your favorite is. But part 2, I mean, they even said at one point they didn't want Michelangelo, Leo, or Donnie to actually even swing their weapons at people. Right. So I couldn't watching it. I was like, it's cool. Took on Razor there, but part 1 I thought was just untouchable. But
yeah, no, I don't think any of them used their weapons on people in the second one, right?
Yeah, I think Raph was able to take them out at least, and then that was Leo. Leo took them out and then got them kicked away. But I feel like for some reason Raph wasn't on the list right away because he would always turn them upside down and do stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Mikey especially, people were like, no nunchucks for any children whatsoever.
I made my own nunchucks when I was a kid, but yeah, because they were so cool. Although they're like the weakest weapon ever.
Actually, I was gonna say before we transition to your Instagram, so 2 stories about that. The first one, my one friend, back when I was growing up, decided to make his own nunchucks, and he got 2 pieces of wood and took his dad's drill and held the wood to drill right through the hand. And then the other one, one of my best friends, Joel, actually started martial arts because of Karate Kid and Ninja Turtles, and I've seen him use nunchucks because that's his favorite like weapon to train with. And I think Joel's 41 now. Those things are damn dangerous. Like I'd be more afraid of nunchucks than I would be a sword, like straight up. Seeing what he could do with those.
You can see like nunchucks being like the weapon where like if you got hit with it a bunch of times, you wouldn't like hurt in the first few seconds, and then it starts to come on like getting like punched in the side or something. You're like, and then you hurt like 5 seconds later. You're like, oh my god.
But you could also get the metal ones. The metal ones are where it's really gonna get.
I didn't even know there were metal ones.
Oh yeah,
that's dangerous.
Oh yeah. And again, sorry, I didn't even shout out everybody in the chat. Sal, Patrick, Jose, Steve, Anthony. Good to see all of you. So I have to, again, as I mentioned at the top, you are a major influence, whether you agree or not, in the collector space, because what you do and then the timing that you're able to post these things, you keep all of us up to date, as you even write update on that one, on everything dropping, when it's releasing, and you even do the links, which make it so easy, it's offensive. But how did this even come about? Like, what made you decide I'm gonna make a page dedicated to collectors?
I think the first thing it was just Star Wars. It was just Star Wars. I collected Black Series and Vintage Collection, and I know when things are coming out and everything. And my girlfriend at the time, who is not my girlfriend anymore, was like, "You can do like an Instagram for it, a bunch of your stuff and post your stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And it didn't materialize for a long time. And then when I finally started doing it, what happens is, I started with Star Wars, and it just morphed into more toy lines that, because I started collecting more toy. Once you get into the toy world, it's like, how many doors am I going to open here? Because
I love that.
Like, there's too much stuff that's cool, and eventually it just branched off to the other toy lines, and now it's even toy lines that I don't even collect. Like,
really?
Yeah, I don't collect some of that stuff. I just know that it's coming out, and I know that somebody else is going to care. So I post it up there, and I started doing the links eventually because I got tired of people asking me, and I got tired of people complaining about it. It's just like, I'll just do the links. And then I have another Instagram that's just horror stuff, but I made that like a year after I made the thing, because at the time I only did Star Wars on one of them, and I was like, well, I collect a lot of horror stuff too. Maybe I should start one for horror stuff. And now, I do everything on one and just horror stuff on the other one. But I do post the horror stuff on my regular Toy Collector Star Wars one too. So the horror one's kind of obsolete, but I still post stuff on there because there's still like 2,500 people who follow it. So
That's crazy.
I want to leave them high and dry.
Shout out to you on that. I don't even remember what it was that I started following you for, because there's just been so many damn things that I've ordered because of you. And it's funny how many people now are trying your formula, but they fail. Like, they can't do it as consistently as you can. So that's also why I give you credit on that, because you're consistently, daily, are posting the newest things, the links, and how to get them.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that needs to constantly be doing something. So You know, and I can't like sit still very well, so that gives me something to do, like at all times, kind of. Like
Yep.
all free, my if you've got 10 minutes, you get 10 minutes to like look at that and see what's post something if it's new or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So because my brain is, you know, I'm just always, I can't. It's like I can't read a book. Like I can't just.
You gotta move.
I have problems
Gotta move.
Even watching me on the live stream, you can see I have problems sitting in front of this camera and staying still.
I would honestly, if not for the sake of having to like do the board and all the other things, I'd be the same way.
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah. So it's just you know, I want to help. I definitely look at us as a community, for better or for worse. And if I can help somebody else get something that's hard to get, because that was kind of like the primary thing. Because when it started, things were so much. When I started doing it, things were so much worse.
Yeah.
And trying to get the figures that you wanted. Now, you know, pre-orders stay open longer and stuff like that. But that was back when, you know, pre-orders might be open for 3 or 4 minutes, and then you're depending. If you didn't get it there, then you're depending strictly on getting the restock. So I used to, you know, stay on top of like the restock. If I saw it, I'd like post it, be like, oh, it's back up.
Right.
So, you know, things are slightly different now, where you know, some of the manufacturers have, or even the stores that get them are realizing that was a problem and order more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the reasons when it started. But yeah, so, you know, it's fun. I like to help out people.
So was that like, I guess that would have been 2019 into 20 probably when you started going heavy on it.
2018, 2019, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 19, yeah. It wasn't super long ago. Yeah, it's relatively new compared to some other people's Instagrams. But yeah, it wasn't that long ago. But yeah. So I try to stay on top of it. It's very rare that there's something that I don't post.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to post everything that comes out that I think is cool. You know, even if I don't collect it, somebody else does. Like that.
I didn't even notice this coming out. I somehow missed it on your page, and yet now you got me in trouble for that.
Yeah, look at that.
That's gonna happen,
dope, right?
Yeah. Oh, I remember now. So I remember what got me I remember what got me turning on notifications for your channel, and that was the Marvel Legends retro wave, because you would post when they were live on Target, and they'd be gone so fast.
Right, I remember that now.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
And I think that's when we started talking too. It's probably around then.
Yep, I remember.
And then, but I think the initial thing I started following you on was either the Imperial Crosshair, or it was Captain Rex from Black Series. It was one of those two that I found you.
Yes, I remember that too. Yes, you got one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was super grateful for that. Thank you.
Yeah, it was the Rex, I think I remember. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was. It was Rex. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like on a daily basis, and then I figured I'll go old school too, and we'll play a game of either, which I've not done on the channel in a while. But on a daily basis, is your DMs just going nuts from people who are like, hey, I just found this thing, share it with everybody? Or are you also just like, you know, going through other pages and whatever? Like, how crazy is that Instagram when you open it up every day?
I don't get as much help as I want.
Really?
No, I don't. I wish I did. Some people, I have a few, there's like 3 or 4 people who are like on top of some things, and they always let me know, but I don't have like a bunch of DMs. Like sometimes I do, like if something if something happened, like for example, the Boba Fett went up, the San Diego Comic-Con went up one, and like 2 people hit me up on that. You know what I mean? But like I don't get as much help as you would think. If I do get help, I put them in the post, and like
you do, yeah.
But a lot of times it's just me in my free time scrolling through things like Target or Amazon or something, just to see if what's happening. what's in stock, what's back up for pre-order or whatever.
I actually want to check out that Boba Fett. You just mentioned it.
Yeah. Okay. So, for everyone who's listening, and for you, too. So tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time, the Boba Fett, the San Diego Comic-Con one from Hasbro, the black one, and the Dr. Mindbender for G.I. Joe Classified. They should be up on Hasbro Pulse at 12 p.m. Eastern time.
Nice.
They're extremely hard to find.
Yeah.
Because you can't just put them in the search bar. You have to have a direct link for them. At least that was what happened today. So I will post them. Yes, I will post them tomorrow at noon when they're up. They'll be up for like 10 to 15 minutes probably.
Yeah.
If you're on your phone and you click on the link I give you and you have the Hasbro Pulse app, it's not going to work.
Oh.
Yes. So you have to either delete your Hasbro Pulse app or you have to just copy and paste the link and open it in your browser and it will take you straight to it. Why Hasbro has it in this convoluted, idiotic way? Thank you, everyone. I appreciate the applause. Why they have it this way, I don't know, but that's what happened today. So I anticipate for that to happen tomorrow, and it should they should be, both of them should be available at the same time in the same way tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
Nice. That's priceless. And and that's the thing too, is like so I have like I said, I have notifications turned on for your Instagram. So like you also kind of like save me time, because like I know if you post something 8 out of 10 times it's something I'm interested in, and something like this, you have so limited time to get it. And the only thing I could think of is on why the app may not work. Maybe it's a bot thing. Maybe they're trying to limit the amount of bots that just automatically search for something, place order, max out the amount of things. I don't know, but it seems like a lot of work, but I that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do it that way. It's not. Why not? Why it wouldn't be put on the app? I don't know. I don't think they even know what they're doing, dude. I don't think they're even that smart, man.
We're definitely gonna talk about that in a little bit. But I figured we'll on this special occasion we're gonna play a little game of either. And
all right, how do we play?
There you go. The instruction time for all of you, and all of you in the comment section. If you've played the game, you know how this works. But just in case, in the game of either, we have two options. We have red, we have blue. You choose which one best suits you. And in the first round of either, we're going with somebody who's a modern day action star. We're going with, would you rather be Chev from Cranked or be the Transporter? We're hitting Jason Momoa on this one. Or sorry, Jason Statham on this one. Have you seen both of these movies?
Have you asked me? Yes.
Yeah.
Have I seen them? Yeah, I've seen them.
Are you a fan of either one?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen them in a long time, but sure. I mean, that was the shit back in like, what was that, like 06?
Yeah, I want to say it's around there.
Yeah. So I would probably be the Transporter. Mm-hmm. Just because the Crank guy is dying. You know what I mean?
But he lives. He makes the second one.
There's so I guess you're right. He makes it through. But the whole now I'm double thinking it, because he gets to do a lot of crazy stuff.
Yep.
To keep his adrenaline going.
Yep.
So I don't know. I want a free pass to do a bunch of that and like maybe screw some girls in front of a bus of Japanese.
That's right. He did that. The tourist in LA.
Yeah. So I think I'd probably wear Transporter because he's like more like gangstered out and laid back. But
yeah.
I don't know. So I'd probably do red. But that is a pretty good. That's a hard choice.
Yeah. Part 2 of Crank is ridiculous. It's one of the first times I saw an action movie that in the first one I thought it was kind of taking itself seriously, but then in the second one they understood the assignment. They knew this is not going to be taken seriously. We're just F it, do whatever. And I gotta say, Crank 2, it's pretty funny.
I don't think I've seen the second one then.
I don't even remember how. I don't think he was doing it with electricity. Oh, he was shocking himself still. They gave him, that's what it was. And I'm going to spoiler alert Crank in case anybody cares. The beginning of Crank 1, I think, is him like dead in the street. And it's one of those, I'm going to tell you how I got here.
Yeah.
And the end of the movie, sure enough, I think his heart explodes and he falls out of a plane and like hits the ground dead. I think that's actually what it is. So you're like, all right, movie over, whatever.
Right.
Crank 2, they're like, they went the cartel or the Yakuza or somebody, get his body, give him a new heart, and now he's got to keep going for Crank 2. It's wild.
Maybe I did see that. I can't remember anything that happened in it.
Yeah.
But that sounds familiar now.
Because Crank 1 is adrenaline. He's got to keep the adrenaline up. Crank 2, he's got to keep the heart alive, so that's why he keeps shocking himself.
Yeah, okay,
that's what it was.
All right, I think I have seen that then.
Yeah.
I don't remember any crazy thing. I don't know. Dude, let me tell you something. That time of my life is a complete blur. I don't know. We could have met back then. I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
I'm with you on that one for sure.
So.
It seems like everybody in the chat is going on the Team Red. And of course, General Kenobi has entered the arena.
Hello there.
So we're gonna see if the rest of the world agreed with us. They did.
Oh wow.
Red was the answer by a lot. The other thing about Transporter that stood out to me as a kid, first of all, the final scene of that movie where I think he killed everybody and he gets the girl and she's like talking about her dad was the bad guy for some odd reason, and she's like, he may have been a bastard, but he was still my father. And then like credits. I was just like, okay. But also in the trailer, I remember he's in a house, like in a villa somewhere, and they shot a rocket at him and he reflects the rocket with like a silver tray. But that was not in the movie. And I remember I was like in 8th grade and I was like, what happened to that one cool scene from the trailer? Like they just kind of like skipped the whole thing.
Isn't it funny when they do that?
Yeah.
Where you see something in the trailer and it's not in the movie. You're
just
like,
gone.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened a few times back then. Actually, I think they've done it recently, right?
Well, a recent example, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but if everybody remembers back, the Avengers Infinity War trailer has a scene where they're all running at the screen and Hulk is running with them with the woods behind them. But then the movie comes out and Banner never turned into the Hulk, and it was supposed to be him in the Hulk Buster suit.
Oh.
Yeah, and the background was changed and everything.
I think it might have been, there's another one that happened recently. It might have been, it wasn't Batman. It was something else happened.
Yeah. And
people noticed. I remember when people were talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird when they do that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's to build hype, or maybe they just forget it. I don't know. It could.
I think. Mm-hmm. I think they rushed the trailers, and the movies haven't been fucking. Sorry, haven't been.
You can curse. You can curse all day. Okay. You're good. Yeah.
All right. So the movies haven't been edited correctly yet. They haven't been. And then they get the final edit, and that scene's just not in the movie. You know.
Oh, you know what you just remind me of too? Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. I think one of the issues with the movie was they film everything, they lose their director, they gave the movie to their trailer people to edit the trailer, but then they lose director, lose part of the production team, and then the trailer people have to edit the whole movie because there's nobody else to do it. I'm pretty sure it's Suicide Squad where that happened, and that movie of course was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of then.
Yeah. Kenobi's coming out. Yeah, trailers are built on working scenes, not the final ones.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, how they hit Juggernaut in Deadpool 2. That was a really good surprise when that came out. But you mentioned something a little while ago, and it's something that has been super popular in the collector space. And actually, I was gonna show it on the website, but we might as well show that you also have a YouTube channel, by the way. 11,000 subscribers on the channel. Kill it on the videos. You do an amazing job. But on your recent live stream, you talked about the failed HasLab lightsaber. Now, for a quick reminder, why don't you tell the folks what happened in this scenario here?
well, Hasbro, they tried to do a Black Series HasLab with the Rancor. They screwed it up completely, and although it was a workable project, they just screwed it up. And after that one failed, they were like, well, let's come out with a new one. And instead of taking one of the 10 or 20 fantastic suggestions for HasLabs for Black Series that were coined by fans and everyone for the last year, they decided to go with something that no one asked for, which was the lightsaber for a, let's just say, polarizing character in the Kenobi series. So whoever is making the decisions over there not only don't know what a HasLab is, they are completely clueless as to what the people in the action figure community or collecting community, I want to include the lightsaber people, want, and who will spend the actual money to get those things. This thing only that's the backer total right there. It's less than 1,500. Less than 1,500 people back that, right? I'm also blind, so I can't. I can barely see
1413. 1,413.
That's all. That's as many as they got. That's insane.
Yeah.
It blows my mind that like a group of people thought this was a good idea, and then they presented it to another group of people who also thought it was a good idea. I can't imagine that they thought that this thing was going to get backed.
Yeah. And I was listening to Out of the Basement this past week. They were talking about it, and you've been a guest on their show a couple times. And two things that they were talking about was, or no, it's a different video, but they're talking about, the Rancor almost made it. Like the Rancor kind of became a meme, if you would, where it wasn't going, and then people were like almost banking on it failing, that they started to fund it just to see what would happen, and then it almost actually happened.
It was close. Yeah,
it was close. Just under 500 to go. On the last day, it had like a crazy boost, but they were also talking about the saber and how it has the Black Series title to it. And in case anybody doesn't collect Star Wars the way we do, Black Series for the most part is the figures. Like, it's the action figures and the vehicles that are in the 6-inch scale or 1/12 scale. Whereas the lightsaber is not anything like that. So it's weird that they smack the Black Series on it and then go as far as to make it a HasLab to even release it. Really interesting decision.
I think it just shows just that they don't understand the community. Like, they don't understand that, the action figure community and the lightsaber collecting community are two different communities. They overlap, but they are different. Yeah. Like, I don't own a lightsaber. I don't own any. I don't know anyone who collects the lightsabers. Who actually collects them.
And we'll say more than one too, because actually Jenna Kenobi just did a review today that dropped on I think with the Palpatine saber, but Kenobi, who is all about Star Wars, I mean, his username is Star Wars, doesn't go in on the sabers like that to say I'm going to spend $500 on this thing.
That's the difference. That's another thing. You have to the action figure or the lightsaber collecting community doesn't take the Black Series lightsabers seriously.
Yeah,
they're considered toys in the They would rather buy from third parties who make realistic hilts.
right.
and to buy the Star Wars one or buy the Hasbro ones that just look like cheap. They just they look cheap. That's the real deal, unfortunately. Yeah. So they don't collect those, and they're certainly not going to spend $500 on what they consider just a plastic toy. I mean, I know it had some like die cast in it, but it's really just a plastic toy. They're gonna spend $500 on a realistic hilt.
Yeah,
you know, like I know that, and also I know that lightsabers and helmets are considered are under the Black Series umbrella, but I don't really consider them Black Series things. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird choice to go with. Black Series is the figures, and I think they should have done like a vehicle. I think that's the easiest, most obvious choice, and I think that it shows how obvious of a choice it is when the G.I. Joe one is up to 17,000 backers right now, because that's a 6-inch line as well, and they gave the fans something that fans have been asking for since they started the line. People have been asking for this thing. They were like, well, let's do that, and they learned from the Rancor that, hey, we should include a figure in the price. And they did both those things, and look how many backers that they have. Also, right now, the G.I. Joe one is, and if you back the G.I. Joe one, you're ending up right now with 4 figures.
Which is nuts.
You're getting 4 figures
nuts.
right now. Yes, for $300, you're getting 4 figures.
See if we can find
where
it.
They couldn't even they couldn't even barely give you one when it came with the Rancor, and obviously the lightsaber doesn't have any tiers, because what are you going to do with that? But it seems that the G.I. Joe team learned from the Rancor's failure, and we're like, well, let's do this in such a way that we're going to give the fans what they want, because you have to give the fans what they want for the HasLab. They're backing it. They're putting their money up so that you can make it. So you need to give them something that they've already want. Nobody already wanted this lightsaber.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it has no nostalgic value to it. It just happened, whereas the HISS tank would have nostalgic value, an X-Wing would have nostalgic value, where people would be willing to drop, $300 to $500 on it. Nobody's dropping $500 on a lightsaber for a character that they just kind of got introduced to.
Yeah. No, and even like here, like Galactus, $400. Like, you could charge a lot for these things. And as a reminder for anybody who may not know, the HasLabs think of them as GoFundMes. They say, hey, we have an idea for a release you may like. It's not going to be produced in the standard, we make it, goes to stores, you buy it. These are things that in order to get them, you have to actually help them crowdfund to get the money to make them. And they set a goal. So, we saw earlier how the lightsaber at $500 got, almost 1,500 people. This Galactus, $400. On paper, you say, who's spending $400 on a figure? But to your point, $400 on a figure that is like freaking, almost 2 feet tall.
Look at the size of it. Yes.
And they even said, all right, if you guys hit these different tiers, you're going to get all these figures on here.
Right, it came with new figures, yeah.
Yeah, new molds. And you got 3
Well, at least
different
one
figures.
of them was new. Wait, 2 of them were new, right?
I think Silver Surfer was new, too.
Oh, wait, they all right. Okay, so cool. Yeah.
According to the video I saw today.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They just and people were super excited for this. I mean, I think it's on display at San Diego Comic-Con right now, and you can see how massive it is.
Yep. and then I even think about this one. Like, this is, you talked about nostalgia a little while ago. I mean, I bet you at least a third of these backers, almost 20,000 backers on this Proton Pack, don't even collect collectibles. They're just like, I've never had that, and I need it.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
The detail on that thing is really awesome. Like, they really went all out to. Yeah, the Proton Pack for sure. Yeah, they really went all out on that. And this is how badass it looks. It's $400, and you gotta buy an additional wand for $100 in stores.
Yeah.
And people still back this.
Yeah. It's wild. I thought it would, because you had the different levels to unlock. I mean, literally the first tier is the cord to connect the wand to the proton. The essential piece to this thing. They were like, if you get us to this tier, we will unlock it. And people were still like, hey, I believe in this thing so much. And I've always wanted this as a kid growing up. I'm willing to. I mean, think about it. Now that's $500. By the time you buy the wand and by the time you get the pack, you're 500 in.
You're at $500. Yep.
Yeah.
And people were like, yep. But that's another thing that they see. And this one, it's like almost straight nostalgia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, who didn't want that as a kid? Like, my favorite show as a kid was the Real Ghostbusters. That's how. Back in the day, was my favorite cartoon. Obviously, I forget. Well, the Ghostbusters 2. That was on rotation too as a kid. We had Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 on VHS. So
nice.
So I watched those two. That was actually my favorite movie as a kid. Ghostbusters. I thought it was great.
Really?
But so, and they didn't try to. It kind of worked for like the new crowd and for the old Ghostbusters crowd, because they didn't really change the proton pack that much. I don't remember, honestly, how much change that had in Afterlife. But at least they didn't do the one that came in the movie with the reboot with the girls.
I still haven't seen that movie. I'm so.
You haven't seen it? I couldn't make it all the way through, man.
It's funny, and I won't do any spoilers just in case. But Sal did a review for our channel on Thor. He almost walked out on it. And I was like, it's been a long time since I heard somebody go into a big franchise film and almost walk out.
Dude, it drags. It's way too long.
Yeah.
It's way too long. And they did it ass backwards, man. It was all like ad-lib. And Ghostbusters, the first Ghostbusters was very concise, written nuances in the jokes. You know what I mean? Some of the jokes weren't even words. It was facial expressions and attitudes, you know? Whereas this, they just let the camera run, which is a cool way to do a movie for sure, but just not Ghostbusters.
And also, it depends on who's doing it. Like, it depends on the comedians you've got actually in on screen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because I'll let Bill Murray do that all day. But, because that's like his bread and butter. But like, I just don't think it. It just didn't come together right. I don't. And I think that all those comedians are funny. And I think that what's his name, the
Chris Hemsworth,
the Thor. Yeah, he was funny too. He was funny. It just didn't work. I don't know. I just didn't. It just. That's
what I heard. I heard it just didn't come together. Like it just doesn't mesh.
Yeah, because there were funny parts. It just didn't. Yeah, it was just too long and just. I don't know.
Did you watch the new one?
Yeah, sure.
And did you like it?
I thought it was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that girl, the young girl, like Egon's, that kid came with the fire with the jokes.
That's
oh my god,
That's what I heard.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
It's funny. I edited the review for our channel. Anthony reviewed it because he's a huge Ghostbusters fan. So I reviewed it, and he went into such detail. I actually enjoyed watching and editing the review. And even when people talk about the movie, I am like, yeah, but I haven't seen it. But I feel like I've seen it because of the way he describes it. So it's on my list of things to watch for sure.
Oh, you should see it. It's pretty good. She has like some serious heat. Like good, like great dad jokes. The what was the most disappointing part about that film is that the end, there's like an extra like credit scene, like at the end of the credits, and it's Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver interacting. Oh. And you watch that, and it could arguably be the best part of the movie, and you're like, wow, you know what? I wish the movie was this. You know what I mean? I wish it was just the old guys doing what they do, because this is great. Yeah. And it's only like a 5-minute scene, So that's probably the worst part about the movie is that like you see what could have been
right
at the end. Yeah.
Right.
But it's good. It's definitely good.
Do you want to see another one? Or are you good?
Yeah, sure. I want more Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Winston, and I want more of that. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So, but I doubt they'll put them more in there. But yeah, they should do another one. I mean, of course they will. You know, It was actually successful. Plus, I mean, isn't that that's Sony, right?
That's a good question.
I think they have Ghostbusters, right? I'm just gonna. Because if it is Sony, which I think it is, their movies usually bomb, so they're probably really excited about Ghostbusters and people liking it. So they're definitely making a second one.
Let's see. It doesn't even tell me here. Let's see. Yeah, Sony. Wow, you're right.
Sony, yeah. So they're definitely making a second one because they don't. They keep screwing up their movies.
They're actually filming Madam Web up here, and they put in an ad for extras on it, and I've been meaning to actually put my name in for that, but
you're gonna head down there. Yeah,
they keep missing. Like, to your point, Sony just I didn't even see Morbius. I have no desire to see Morbius, but I've watched what was it, Pitch Meeting. Have you ever watched Pitch Meeting?
No.
Oh,
no.
man.
What is it? Which meeting?
Yeah, it's this guy. He was under Screen Rant. He might still work for them. But the Screen Rant YouTube channel does a segment called Pitch Meeting. And it's him as like the producer pitching to the production studio.
I have seen one of those, yes.
Yeah. Hilarious. And he does one on Morbius. And I was like, I don't even need to see this movie anymore. Like, literally, he hits the nail on the head. I'm good.
You know what? I haven't seen that movie, and I was hoping that it was going to be good. So that's disappointing to hear.
Going full circle, I think that's the one of the movies that we're thinking of. The Spider-Man poster, I think, is in the trailer, but not in the movie. Somebody in the comments let me know.
Oh, interesting.
I think that was one of the. I think that it was that there was something in that trailer that was not in the movie, and people were like, "Wait a minute!" And they like, after the fact, they're like, "Wait, what happened to that connection thing?"
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that one. I was hoping it was going to be good.
Yeah.
Hot Toys just revealed a new Morbius figure.
That was hilarious. The second they released that, I was like, you know what? You guys got to shoot your shot and watch that thing be like a top seller.
Well, the character is cool, you know. Like, I just hope the movie is the movie. I don't know. Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I'm so happy you reminded me about that. Here it is. Yeah.
There he is. Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah, right. You know. Or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. All right.
Do you collect Hot Toys? Have you ever done Hot Toys?
No, I don't collect Hot Toys. I was gonna get into them, but you know, it's a space and money thing. You gotta, if you get a Hot Toys, you gotta display it.
Yeah.
You know, and I just don't have a whole bunch of space for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're awesome. Some of them are ridiculous.
I'm debating it. And you posted actually, and I was showing it earlier. The where are we? I just saw it on your page. The it's the brand. Oh, this is
Mayfex.
Well, this is the Mayfex. What was I thinking of? The Mondo, is it?
The Mondo, yeah. There's
the Batman.
Yeah, the Mondo, Batman, and Joker.
Yeah.
There's one, yeah.
But 6-inch or 1/6 scale. I'm like,
yes.
Like, I want this, but where am I going to put it? And it costs so much money.
Oh, it's no joke. Those are about $250, I think.
A piece.
Yeah.
So good though.
Yeah, they look awesome. Mondo does a good job. They have a bunch of Masters of the Universe figures that they do that all look fantastic.
Love that. Well, we're almost at the end of the show. Time flies when you're having fun. Done? Yeah. But I thought we'd do one more round of either and see.
All right, let's do that.
Since we're on that nostalgia train. Let's see which way your head's going here. Let's see what side of the train tracks you were on as a kid. In the final round of either, were you Guts or Legends of the Hidden Temple?
Oh my God. This is the hardest question I've ever been asked in my entire life.
Yep.
Wow.
It's funny. I was always leaning towards which one do I think I could win?
Yeah.
And it was almost episode by episode. One week I loved Guts because I was like, I think I could do that. But then I'd see Legends of the Hidden Temple and I'm like, oh, but I think I could do that puzzle.
I want to put that skeleton together. Or not the skeleton, the thing. You get it to 3 pieces?
Yes.
Slam the head on.
And the monkey. It was like I think it was a monkey.
It's like a silver monkey or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Put the head on there. Yep. That's a tough question. Wow. Remember who is the referee woman who told you all the stats on Guts?
Oh man.
Remember the guy was like, tell him something, Mo. Her name was Mo. Yeah, it was Mo. Yeah. Tell him something, Mo.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was like Mo. I gotta look that up.
And that guy's a comedian. He's in like some movies and stuff.
Yeah. Mo from.
I forget what his name is.
Guts.
Legends of the Hidden Temple. Yes, that was.
She is.
Yeah, there's Mo. Mo from Guts.
That's hilarious.
Wow, Mo. What
and she had
Mo?
an accent too, wasn't she from like?
Yeah,
Australia
she definitely did.
Something?
Yep. Yeah, she had an accent from somewhere.
Mike O'Malley. There you go.
Yeah, Michael Malley, that's his name. Yep. I think he also was on another show, hosted another show. I don't remember, but I know he's in some movies. He's in 28 Days. He's in like a couple movies.
Yeah.
He's a comedian. I think he does stand up too.
And he was on like
he's on a show.
Mike and something, one of those sitcoms or whatever.
He was definitely on a show like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow,
Mike
it seems
Sally.
like most of the chat is going on the Hidden Temple side. I did not expect that.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of want to do the aggro crag at the end.
Yeah.
And get that piece of the mountain that they give you.
Yeah. Piece of the rock.
Yeah, and you get to jump around on the bungee cord and stuff. Although, I think that I'd really want to run the end of the Legends of the Hidden Temple. Like the game thing at the end where you have to get to the rooms. You know how you're always yelling at the people like, "No, what are you doing?" They're like, "No." You get like stuck in the cargo net or something. You're like, "Dude, come on."
And then there was also like, I remember if you got a certain amount of, I think if you got pieces of there was a medallion or something,
right.
It opened everything, and then you'd have somebody who was almost at the end get stuck, but then the next person could speed run because they put together everything.
And then there was the guy who would come out and grab you, and you could give him a piece of the medallion to keep going
to get an extra life.
Yeah.
See, that does sound more fun. There's like more thought into what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. It's like like a lot of puzzles.
Yeah.
And like thinking. And then there was always like that one like water thing at the beginning that they had to do. Like
that would knock people out. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to where they go across on the water with the rope and
the rope. On a floaty. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first thing. They kicked 2 teams out right off the bat. But you guys can't even play. No more silver snakes. You're out.
Yeah. The one I will say, the one show I really want to be on, I believe it was Nickelodeon, was it was like Supermarket Sweep, but it was like for Toys R Us, and it wasn't like a weekly show, but every couple of months they would do it.
Yo, right. It was at the end. You could do that, and you could run through.
Yeah.
And you could grab as much stuff as you wanted.
Yeah.
And and I would yell at those people too about what they're grabbing. I'm like, just grab all the video games.
Exactly.
They're like $50 each. Like everything else is like whatever. Like the video games were like $50.
Yeah.
You're like, just put them all in your cart and go.
And that was when you had the paper You had to get the paper slip of the game you wanted, and then go to the section, slide it. The person's like, "Oh, okay," and they go back and get you the actual Nintendo game or the Sega game.
Oh my! There were so many times where I was at Toys R Us hitting that buzzer for like 20 minutes. Like, where can I just want to get Jordan versus Bird and get home and play it. That's what I want to do right now. This guy is ruining it for me.
Yeah.
Please get the game for me.
You know what's amazing? As we currently we're streaming on Twitch as well. Like,
oh no shit.
The idea of having to physically go buy a video game and you're at the mercy of the stock. Like, is it in stock? No, looks like you gotta wait. Like, kids are like, what? You just go on the store on your console and buy that. Right,
and you can now you can just buy it. That was the case for Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam. Those are always sold out.
Always.
You ain't finding those. Yep. Those were tough to find.
I remember too when 32-bit came out for Sega. It was like,
oh yeah,
and it would plug in to the Sega, and then it would up the resolution or whatever. And my local Toys R Us had there was an issue with that shipment, and the one I had was defective. And my dad went back and said there was a long ass line of people that all of theirs were defective.
Everybody was
never got it.
You never got? Oh no, they were out. They didn't have any more.
Yeah. I was so mad.
That is. I also had Sega. I was a Sega kid too.
Nice.
I didn't have Super Nintendo. My neighbor did. No, I had Sega because I was mostly a sports game and a fighting game like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter 2, and those were much better on Sega than they were on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Although Super Nintendo did have some awesome games that I missed out on because of that, though. Looking back, you know what I mean? Like, I was never like a regular game player. Like, I liked sports and video games and what else? Like,
but what about like even the that gun? Remember they had the telescopic looking gun. Like
gun? You know what? I didn't have that one, but I had Lethal Enforcers. You know that one that came. It was like the game in the arcade where you like shoot at the screen.
Like Time Crisis.
Yes, exactly like that. It came with like a gun. Yeah, that was great. I loved that game. That was great. Shooting stuff up.
Those were the moments we live for. Like you finally get that game, that rush when you're trying to get home as fast as you can, put that sucker in, and you're gone. You're dead to the world for days.
Right? And you know what always happened to me though? Whenever I got a new game, I always had something to do for like the entire day. Like you're like, all right, I got this new game for Christmas, but we're gonna go to grandma's all day till like 8 p.m. I'm like, come on, I just want to play the game. You know, there's always something. But that was the best. You'll never get those moments again.
No.
You know, that's what's unfortunate.
And that's why, I mean, like, so I've been on this kick now where I'm doing more shorts and I'm doing long form, like toy hunting and everything. And I found the local spot thanks to Billy, who's a regular on the show, as I drop things. And like finding like this stuff, it just takes you back. It's like those were the moments.
What year is that from?
This is from the movie. This is from 89, the 89 movie.
Oh my God.
The guy at the store had this on card. I got the Penguin.
Oh my God.
And
oh my God, dude.
And I got the Joker.
Wow.
Yeah, on card, everything. And he had there too the Lex Luthor and Riddler. I remember having Riddler as a kid too. But like you said, those were the moments, like the feeling of opening a figure and then watching the movie, whatever movie it was, and being like, oh, like I have that person here too. Like just
right.
Nothing compares.
Well, that's why we do what we do right now with action figures, man.
Yep.
We get to relive some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And remember how much of an effect it had on us as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to try to recreate that with some nostalgia, and that's where we recognize in other people who do the same thing, and that's why we all get along so much, and that's why things like San Diego Comic-Con and Star Wars Celebration exist.
Yeah. Oh,
for those
1000%.
reasons.
1000%.
And yep, so we get to interact with other people that feel the same way about us, about those special moments when we were younger.
It's moments in time.
Yeah, those very special moments.
Yeah.
Never coming back.
So are we all in agreement that we're going to the temple on this one? That's happening?
Yeah, I guess so. It's a tough call though. It's a tough call. Cuz I always wanted to jump on that thing, the bungee cord down and like throw the football through the thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Man, that thing took some endurance. You have to jump off the thing, land, get the ball, jump in the air onto the platform, jump back down off the platform. Man.
Yep, that's real deal, man.
Speaking, not only do we get to relive those memories again, like that'll never happen again, we'll also never have that endurance ever again.
No, right? Yeah. Dude, I notice that every day.
Yeah.
You know what else I don't have anymore? Is my damn memory. What happened to that? Christ.
It's stuck in 93.
I can't remember anything now.
It's funny, I didn't even catch that this round was called Nostalgia at the bottom of the screen.
Nice.
So let's see. Did the world agree with us? They did.
Oh, wow.
By a landslide.
Wow.
Love it.
No love for guts. Too bad.
So this is the sad part of the show, but also one of my favorites. This is your moment, Matt, where I always say, plug yo shit. What do people have to look forward to
All right.
from you?
All right. So if you haven't seen it, I'm on Instagram. It's at the bottom of the screen there. If you see what we're seeing, it's at Toy Collector Star Wars, where I update a lot of toys that are coming out and how to get them and where to get them and when there's restocks of hard to get figures for all kinds of toy lines, Star Wars, Black Series, TVC, Marvel Legends, McFarlane, other smaller toy lines that I can't remember off the top of my head. And I have a YouTube called Can't Kill Chewie. There's no apostrophe in can't, because if you put the apostrophe, it's not going to come up. But it's Can't Kill Chewie, where I basically crap on Hasbro for their lousy decisions. And make it in some type of comical video, but it's a lot of lists. Like if you can see, like the top 10 hardest Black Series figures to find in the wild, the top 10 most expensive Black Series figures, a bunch of lists like that. And I have a live stream that I just started doing. It's on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time. You're welcome, General Kenobi. I see your comment there. Yeah, the wallet. Yeah, always a constant battle with the wallet.
Yeah.
But I just started doing live streams at 2 p.m. Eastern time at my YouTube channel. And Steve, I would love for you to come on one of the times. Well, if you'd like to come on, I'd like to have you on and we'll talk more toys.
I'd love to be there. I would love to be there.
That's awesome. So
yeah, dude, like you are the man. We just like Kenobi said, like a lot of us said in the chat, our wallets hate you, but at the same time, we appreciate you and what you do. So open invitation for you as well. Anytime you want to come back on Nerd Affiliated, you are welcome.
Yeah, man. Love to come back. We should set it up.
Yes, but I don't think my girlfriend will want to meet you because she would hate you for what you've done to me. But I sent that message also to Seth from MCE because he's going to New York Comic Con, and I was like, "You're in trouble, my friend. You're in trouble."
Yep.
So, as Matt said, check him out over Can't Kill Chewie, Toy Collector Star Wars on Instagram. On YouTube, Can't Kill Chewie. HeyArcher Live every Thursday, normally 8:15-ish p.m., but today was a special time. But 8:15 p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. Like, comment, subscribe to everybody here in the chat. Again, if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. I love all of you. and we'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace.
Peace out.
What? Huh? More specifically, vodka.